Hello, it's Lou, and we're back with another awesome conversation. This time with the amazing Jambo. Jambo, it's also Jamie, correct?
Yes,
Jamie.
Jamie.
Okay, great. But we're here talking to amazing content creators who use Tiltify, and definitely highlighting some of the women during this month of a Women's History Month. But without further ado, Jambo, welcome
Hi,
to
thank you
this
so much.
conversation.
Happy
You've
to be here.
arrived.
I've arrived. I'm here.
um, I'm excited to talk to you because we were talking previously. It's been really cool to watch your journey as a content creator, and uh, let's talk about that a little bit. Like, what prompted you to even like move forward with content creation as like your primary thing that you do.
Oh
You're
boy.
often
I,
um you're often streaming. Sorry, I've like the house is rumbling, and
that
we're
is
okay. It's just
totally. Are you okay? It's not like an
no,
earthquake or
it's
something or
no, it's a
explosion.
9-year-old and dogs like just
Oh, understood.
no, it's that's
Understood.
all it
I
is.
have two dogs myself, so
No, like what's this journey? What inspired you to
oh.
do this career?
So I started streaming 4 years ago next month. Actually. But before I actually started streaming, I had spent some time getting to know people on the platform, like serial lurker. I never chatted. I didn't even have the same account that I use now. It was complete. I made a completely different account when I actually started streaming. But I kept up with people like Bloody Faster and Dr. Lupo who were doing huge things with the platform. They've been on the platform for a while since before I started streaming, and it was amazing to see because streaming was like it was a lot more game oriented before when I actually was on the platform. It felt a lot more game oriented, at least where I was. But watching what could happen within that platform expanded past gaming and the reach that it has outward was really intriguing to me. So it was something that I had wanted to try for a while because back in the Justin TV days, I was around, but I wasn't as active as I was before I actually started streaming. So it was something that had been on my mind because I've been a gamer my whole life. So I finally got the courage after ending a very toxic relationship to take the jump. And I was living alone for the first time in my entire life. And all I did was go to work, come home, play games, go to sleep, go to work, come home, play games, go to sleep. And I was like, well, I don't want to just be doing that every day. So I took the plunge and I started streaming, and it changed my life. My mental health got so much better. I was talking to people every day. I wasn't alone when I came home anymore. It was interacting constantly, and that is something that is needed for me. I'm a very social person, but I also like to be at home. So it's like the perfect combination of I can interact, but I can stay home in my pajamas all day. And that's like it was perfect. I worked a full-time job for 2.5 years of my streaming career. So it was definitely like a side note in my story for a long time. I was working 40 to 60-hour weeks at my full-time job for a lot of that time, streaming whenever I could. And then in 2019, um, I had a relationship end the day before moving into a new house. So I went through two huge life changes back to back,
Whoa.
followed shortly by losing my job and then ending up in the hospital, all in a 4-month time frame. So it was like everything that could have happened and gone wrong went wrong. And I couldn't be consistent. I couldn't stream. Like I was job hunting 24/7. I was taking interviews. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. And I was talking to my partner, my new partner at the time, about quitting. But he was like, "Well, you can't do that. You're passionate about what you do. You love what you do. You have to try one more time." And in November of 2019, I did my first stream back, And it was the first time in my entire streaming career that I opened up about my mental health. I had a complete breakdown on stream, which was never something I'd done before. I let it all out. I explained everything that had happened in the last few months that I hadn't talked about. I was transparent about everything I was trying to do and figure out. And we experienced the most growth I have ever experienced that month. And our channel went from a 30 average to an 80 average and 74 subscribers to 3,600 in 3 weeks. And it was the most insane thing I'd ever seen happen. Nothing like that has ever happened for me. So from that point on, the support just continued. And in January, my community asked if I would be interested in trying full-time streaming, because it was always something that like I never talked about. It was never something I anticipated doing, not for a long time, but the support was there. We talked about it for like 2 weeks on stream. And finally, I just decided that I was going to give it a go. And my life changed forever.
Well,
And
I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
no, it's just been an insane ride.
Well, that's one of the things that I noticed about your career is like there's your vulnerability is one of the things that I think has really allowed you to bring in a community that resonates with that. Like when we talk about creating community, you want to identify with the person or the event or the brand on a really personal level. And I think that was the thing that it's the thing I appreciate the most about watching you do what you do, is that authenticity and that vulnerability especially with mental health, because and you mentioned you mentioned Bloody Faster as well. As like I remember that call out, she was having issues, and then her community came in, and even I was like, yes, you need help sometimes. You feel lonely, and you feel like and you feel like there's a stigma behind talking about it, or behind taking medication and seeking counseling, all of that. But you're a big voice for that, so I thank you for being a part of that, because
I'm thankful for the people who that resonates with, that talk to me as well, because that's not an easy thing to do. And I feel also that there's two sides to being that vulnerable and open. Being vulnerable and open deters a lot of people too. There's a lot of people who don't want to hear about that, who don't want to engage with content like that, who and there's nothing wrong with escapism, who look to Twitch for an escape and are not looking to discuss things like that. And that's totally valid. That's fine. But I am so proud of the space that we have built. That is it's just such a safe space for me too. It's people who are compassionate, considerate, caring, and also hilarious. We can do and talk about so many things, and it doesn't feel like there's a wall anymore. It feels like I can be as organically myself as I want and need to be, with absolutely no shame, no hiding. I have a place to fall, and that's huge.
Yeah, no, it's again, I go back to saying, like, that's something I notice. It's a theme I've seen with our community members who do a lot of fundraising through Tiltify. Is there's an authenticity that drives the careers and the communities that the content creators bring along for fundraising. And that's an exciting thing to see. And so let's talk about that for a little bit. But let's talk about some of the fundraising efforts you've been up to. And you've been busy. Like 2020, you buckled down and we're like, we're going to do something. Was that so we'll talk about that, but then we'll also talk about, I'm thinking that probably has something to do with the creation of your charity driven team, the Sidequest, correct?
Yeah. So I started charity streaming 7 months into my streaming career. I unfortunately had some pretty negative influences around me when I first started streaming. It was a very different culture where I got started in social media. The people who were around that were very like, what if you don't hit your goal? Like, what
Oh,
if you aren't able to raise enough? Or, it was that very, like, it made me second guess myself until, finally I was just like, well, I just want to help and do something. So I did my first Toys for Tots charity stream in 2017. This was before I even knew about Tiltify. I was just like, I'm going to raise this and then I'm going to donate and match it.
oh,
So
cool.
we ended up raising 400 and then I matched that and we donated 800 total to Toys for Tots. So after that, I wanted to do more charity streaming, but I had a full-time job and my job was like, it's very, there's two busy seasons in that job and it was spring for like 3 months, so like April, May, June ish, and then in around Christmas. So it was very, there's like two heavy busy seasons in what I did, and it made it very hard to be consistent and stream in general, but also to plan events because I never knew what I was going to be doing, if I wasn't going to be able to be home to stream, if I was going to have the energy. I was very inconsistent around those times of year when I had my job. So it was very hard to nail down and plan events. So I didn't do as many as I wanted to. But when after I lost my job and 2020 rolled around and I, had a firmer grasp on what I was going to be doing, I was going to be trying full-time streaming. So, okay, I have all of this time now. I can figure out what I want to do. And that was the first year I got to participate in St. Jude Play Live because I was never around in May. And our community raised over $20,000 that month. And it was the most magical thing I've ever experienced in my whole life. That, like, it just, there's just something so different about charity streaming, a feeling that it gives you that it's just, it's a feeling, everyone else is feeling. You
Right.
are all feeling that we just did this and it's so powerful. And it was after that, it was 3 a.m. on our last night fundraising for St. Jude. We were $900 away from 20,000. And I pushed. I was like, this is it. We are in the home stretch. We have 5 minutes left of this stream. We are 900 away from 20,000 raised. And I think that we can do that. And somebody donated $900 and
wow.
pushed us to 20,000. And it was the most emotional moment. Like, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. It was like that moment where you felt like that community power just came through and everyone had the same feeling of, we just raised $20,000 to help fight cancer.
Right. Yeah, I think it's the serotonin, right? Like you get that adrenaline and that
Right.
it's not like in totally selfless because you then
No,
want to go back to that well and just be like, I want to do good again. That was good. And so
yeah.
that's
It,
amazing.
it's not completely selfless, right? Because it feels good to do good, but
Right.
that's the kind of,
I
feeling
guess
that's okay. That's like a
right.
powerful feeling. You have it in you to make a difference. And that's not something everybody has. That's like a powerful feeling. And when you feel it in a community and you feel this group of people who all have the same desire to do good with the platform they have, it's powerful. And after we hit the 20,000 for St. Jude, I wasn't a Twitch partner yet. I didn't get partnered till June. But at the end of May, that was when I was like, if I get partnered, I'm starting a team and it's going to be a charity-based team. And I got partnered a week later.
You're like, well, I gotta do
I was
it.
like, well, here we go. So I started the planning process, and in September, we launched Sidequest. And our first round of applications was 460 people.
Oh, wow.
And it was impossible. All of these people with these stories and the want to do good and make that difference. And we had to narrow it down to 20 people. It was maddening.
Right. And so
Like,
it's not like a paid gig, right?
no.
This is just people who saw what you were doing and saw the community that you've been cultivating and curating, and they wanted to be a part of that. That is amazing.
It's an absolute like honor, and it's so humbling to understand through that how people view me. The impact that I have had is what I want it to be. I want it to be, this community does good. And that's even if it's just as simple as that. Like it's not streaming is not as much about the creator as some people think it is. It is about the community that you cultivate. It is about the impact that you have, what you leave behind, and how you and your community keep your space. Because without your community, you don't really have much. For me,
Right.
streaming has always been 20% creator, 80% community,
Right.
because that's how it works.
Well, and that's something that we are I'm very mindful of at Tiltify is like we know that the community, if they're the ones that get charities and causes and nonprofits onto the platform because we're driven by them and we see what content creators like you do and go, okay, we're onto something, or like, oh, okay, well, let's move in this direction.
Yeah.
And like we just won an award this week from Fast Company for most innovative, but we are inspired and driven because the community keeps wanting and pushing us to do more good and to develop a platform
Yeah.
that really supports that. So we're 100% behind listening and understanding and knowing that community is an incredible special thing. It's the basis of human connection, and
Yeah. Yeah.
especially now, like you're doing amazing things with that. That's phenomenal. So you've raised, at least through Tiltify, like over like 42,000 just yourself. That's
Yes.
an individual fundraiser, but like hundreds of thousands with other groups
Yeah.
you've contributed to.
Yeah.
Um, let's talk about what's you just had a recent stream with the Breast Cancer Research
Yeah.
Foundation, correct?
BCRF. Yep.
And that was hosted by Discord, as
Yeah.
they were the team, but you were on that team.
Yeah.
And of course, like you snapped through that goal, like no problem. Let's go over $3,000 or something, right?
But the goal was $1,000.
Oh, okay.
And
So you tripled your goal.
Yeah.
Well, I think I saw that $1,000, and I'm like, oh, come on.
It was 1,000. that was almost hit in 20 minutes. So it's amazing to me. It's so amazing to have cultivated a community that wants to do that. That like they see a charity goal and they're like, not today, and then smash it into oblivion. It's amazing. And it's so like I love incentivizing, streams and coming up with really creative ways to give back to them for giving. But I do like to acknowledge how amazing it is that they don't need them.
Right.
That
Well,
the want to do good is just there.
yeah, I guess I was going to say, it's like, you've created a community that doesn't necessarily need the carrot that other communities may expect or want. That's ideal for us. Like, we love to see that. But what is the call to action? Is it just you're like, we're doing this and everybody shows up? Is that pretty much what happens?
So I mean, ultimately with a charity stream, you do say like, we're going to be fundraising for this cause today, but I do research before I fundraise with someone, and I Discord for the BCRF event. They actually worked with BCRF to find how much every dollar helps. That's something that I promote in stream, no matter what we're fundraising for. And organizations like St. Jude Play Live also have a list of what every dollar does. That's something that I hope becomes more normalized within, fundraising, because it's the call to action is what every dollar together does, not what your specific donation does, because that's the whole message. It's, if we raise $1,000, this is the outcome. I don't want anyone to ever think $1 is not enough, because that dollar contributes to the ultimate result. And that dollar is a dollar that they didn't have before that they now have. And it's all about bigger picture. And that is the call to action for us. That's what I will always promote. I want to encourage anybody who is charity streaming to always remember that a goal is just a benchmark, and any dollar that you raise before or after that goal is money that they did not have before, that goes to the bigger picture. And that's that's how we focus when we do charity streams.
That's perfect. I could not have said that better. You've nailed it. I love it. And I'm going to copy that, and we're going to use it forever in perpetuity.
Hey,
Sorry, you didn't remember signing the contract. Oh, okay.
Pay you for that if you want. That's fine.
No, that's amazing. So what's next? What's the next fundraising adventure? Yeah, I know you just finished BCRF, but what's next?
St. Jude. Play Live.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Play Live is just around the corner.
So that's in May for us. So we are I'm already planning things for my stream, working with different companies for matching donations for, if we want to do some giveaways. But I'm really excited. I think this is gonna be a big year.
Well, this is the first year we have an industry fundraising conference called the Peer-to-Peer Professionals, and St. Jude for the first time made the top 30 in peer-to-peer fundraising programs. And
incredible.
I mean, I think that they're going to knock it out of the park this year. I think people are driven. I think people are, they think about this. It's a force of good, and it's exciting to see.
It is.
Have you had a chance to be a part of the on-site visit with the Play Live? Not yet. Okay.
Not yet. No. Because like I said, last year was the first time I was able to participate in Play Live. Yeah. And it was in the middle of a pandemic. So
yeah, that's not a thing that's going to happen.
Yeah. But I did do an interview with them for Play Live coming up. So
great.
I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah.
Oh, good.
I'm excited about all of it. I'm excited that this is the first Play Live with Team Sidequest, because we have already raised in 19 days of fundraising $101,000.
Phenomenal.
And it is. And oh man, there is just something in me, this fire that just wants to double that in just Play Live month.
I think you can do it. Like,
I truly believe so. I feel like we could raise $100,000 in the month of May for St. Jude Play Live, and I am manifesting it. We can help so many people. We have such a huge power as creators on Twitch to be able to push for that and to make a difference that it allows us to reach people around the world. And that is insane. Because you can fundraise in person, which is incredible in itself. It's very localized. When you get on a platform that's international, you reach people that are in the UK, Australia, Asian countries, wherever you are. It's just a magical thing.
Right. It's incredible for us to see like the number of countries that contribute to causes that are not in their own country. Like, I mean, St. Jude is definitely one of the larger ones, but across the board, I think that speaks to exactly what you're talking about, is that people want to help and they want to be a part of your community that is helping. And you're talking about,
that's an honor.
You talk about impact statements, you talk about that language that draws people in even closer. And you are an absolute rock star. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So quick question. Mm-hmm. You said that you're somebody who does like to be more like at home, but what is the thing that you're looking forward to the most post-pandemic? Like, you could go out and do whatever you want. What's the thing you're going to go run out and do? What's the first thing?
I just want to go back to Lumonati's.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Right?
That's like fresh out of the oven, Lumonati's deep dish.
Oh, okay.
That's what it's been a long time. Too long.
Man,
I did get my first vaccine a couple weeks ago.
Okay, good.
So I get my second one in April, which is a start to me feeling safer, at least because I'm immunocompromised. I'm type 1 diabetic, so I haven't left my house in a year. I don't go anywhere. Oh, so it'll be nice to at least feel comfortable maybe seeing my family again.
Yeah.
So
no, well we hope for that sooner than later for everyone.
I
hope to see so many of the wonderful fundraisers on our platform at future conventions live in person. Yes. I miss that. I miss seeing my industry family.
Oh
But
man.
again, you're gonna knock it out of the park this year, for St. Jude and any other fundraising you're doing. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and
Thank
I
you, you
we
too.
appreciate all you do, here at Tiltify. Thank you.
Thank you.